Hello, my friends. This is Sandy, and this video is going to walk us through my Everyday Skies 8-page project. So rather than going through all the stuff that comes in your kit first, which there's a lot of goodies, what I'm going to do is just walk through some of the techniques. So there's a lot of different fun add-on things that obviously if you don't do them, as we go through, you'll see, if you don't add this little bit of sponging using the dye or the what do they call these masks, um, then it still would look beautiful, right? Here, this has a fun like shimmer added to the paper. Up here too, this one's got like a little fun shimmer added onto that. Oh, that caught it really good, right? So that's done with these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and show you the different techniques using these different fun supplies. And then I'll show you how to assemble because the assembly is actually pretty easy. And it'll give us time for those different things to dry. But for me, rather than going through and doing all that process to the pages themselves and waiting for them to dry, excuse me, for the sake of the video, I'm just going to use some scrap paper that I got lying around. But you really just need to know the techniques. Okay, so with this background here, again, let me zoom in. um, that's just using this stencil right here on the paper. So this is the linked together decorative masks. There's 5 different ones that all go together. If you stack them all up, they've got little notches on them. And if you make all the notches go the same way, when you stack it together, it makes it really fun. So you could do 5 different colors. In theory, right? You could do 5 different colors, or I love the way it looks if you just do one. So this very simply was just taking a brush and some ink and brushing the color on with the ink. Excuse me. So that's what's done here, a little bit through here, and through here. Now on here, 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 and here, what I did was first I used a paintbrush, and I used a really big one. Some of these things out of the way. So I love these little um, palette trays to help you kind of contain your mess. We'll see how well it helps me contain my mess. Okay, so these 3 things here, I just saw they're on the Wall Supplies last, what do they call it? Last chance. It's the last chance list. It's the metallic enamel effects basics. And I just started playing with them, so I'm so sad that they're leaving. Um, I really like it. So I'm putting just a little bit in here to start with. You're going to do more than that because you're going to do a bigger surface. But if I were to just be painting this on, I would just use this and kind of gives that a nice shimmery look. Okay. But then I also went through on these ones and did a little pouncing. So I used a texture brush and did a little bit of this jobber here. And so that then clumps and sits on top of it all a little bit more. And you can keep playing around with it with that kind of um, idea. So that's how I did those 2. We'll come back through all these again. All right, so here and here and here. Bring that right up so you can see. Okay, these ones were done using a palette knife. Let me put the lid back on this job right now. So with this one, I used the darker one. What is this? Copper. The copper. I'm going to use this. Oh, wait, I can't. I'm going to use this here. Oh, actually what I did was I put it right on there. So I put it right on the paper there, and then using my palette knife, kind of swished it around. So the more you play with it, the kind of thinner it gets. So how thin do you want it? If you want it a little thicker in spots, you could actually put some, take it right from here. You can put some on the knife and then just kind of add that extra little bit of wherever you want it to be a little thicker. If you wanted to then thin out the edges a little bit, you can go back through with the palette knife and thin out some edges. So fun. I love playing with this stuff. Okay, so that's how I did all those. And then I'm sure you saw, hey, wait a minute, there's these little stars going on in there. That I did with stamping after everything dried. Okay, that's how those ones were done. Oh, this one's really fun. Okay, so with this one, what I did was two different things. I went through with um, this sponge and this coppery color. Here, we'll move on to a new piece of paper for this one. All right, so we've got this coppery look. I used this sponge and added in the copper color. Pull some of this lighter color just so I don't have it sitting in their tray. The trailer. All right, so more. You can even put it right on here and then take it and pull it like that. And so just kind of changing the angle of the sponge where it's going. Pull this up so you can see. Okay, so that's how I did the orangish, that's the coppery color. And if you wanted it to look a little more orange, what you also could do is add the color and then add in a little bit of whatever kind of ink you've got. I'm just going to put a drop or two of a darker peachy colored ink. Give a little swish around in there. And so then it changes the color. You still get that fun shiny effect to it, but now it's got that extra bit of color added right in with the paints. And really that's what these are. Metallic enamel effects basics, it's paint. Different kinds of fun textury paint. Okay, so after I did that, what I did to get this blue kind of sitting on top of all of that, through here and through here, I just took a little bit of my blue ink and this texture brush here, and just a little bit. All right, and then it just sits on top of all of the way that looks. So that's done there and here and there too. I think I should. All right, then here, what I did, let's put this aside. Again, we're just going through right now and showing you the different techniques. Then you will be applying them to your own as we go. I'm going to go through it one more time and walk through with you the process for each of the pages individually. Right now, it's just kind of how. So here, what I did was, and you really kind of, you need a lot for this one because you want to fill up those spaces pretty good. But you got to hold your mask pretty still so it doesn't make a mess of your project. Okay, so I want some of these to be filled all the way. And when you peel it back, you get this really fun, cool look. So that's what I did with that. Then on this one here, using that same color, and again, just this sponge here, don't use the red. You want to use a different spot or grab a different sponge and get it into that silvery color. And when you do that silvery color with the sponge, it looks like clouds when it dries. So that'll, right? Isn't that fun? Just little clouds sitting on the surface. Okay, lid back on so I don't make a mess. Make sure I've gone over, yep, here too, clouds. And then along the edge here, that's just using this straight as it is and going along the edge. But I do recommend you have a couple of toothpicks in place or in hand, just to be able to kind of guide that through a little bit and make sure you fill in any of the open spaces for that. All right, so I'm going to set these things aside and I'm going to walk through your kit and show you which pieces you need to pull out and do these kinds of techniques too. All right, now what comes in your kit and what do we need to do with it? This one's really fun. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to work through it. And remember, you can always pause, jot down the time that you paused, and come back later. All right, so with this first one, what I'd like to do first is take, you've got 8 squares of cardstock that are pink. They're pinkish reddish. You're going to spray them and crinkle them. So I sprayed this one. I'm not spraying it over top of my project, obviously. That would make a big old mess. And crinkle. So each one of these you're going to spray, crinkle, and then after it's crinkled, I want you to open it back up and just flatten it. You don't want to get any of the crinkles out, but you want it to be square again. So give it a little stretch, a little pull, and then just set that aside. I'm just going to set this off to the side, do that for all 8 of those. Then you've got these 4 pieces that I did that technique where you're doing 2 different colors, one in one kind of sponge, one in another. So on these 4 pieces and on this tab and this tab. So those 6 pieces are going to get that technique if that's what you want to do. If you decide you don't, that's okay too. But obviously assembly, so once you get through that part and it's all dried and ready, this doesn't take very long. I would say 5 minutes, unless you've got thick stuff on there, which will take probably 20 minutes to dry. But it won't take long for that part to dry. So assembly is as so. We've got this one that goes, it's 3 inches up and 3 inches down. And this one goes next to it. And then one of these, if you decide to texture it, you can. If not, that's okay too. Top and bottom, right? So there's the base for that one. Then we're going to add our photo mats. So on this one from here, all the bases are the same. And then after you get these all crinkled and watered, after you do that part where you crinkle them, when you wet them, crinkle them, dry, then you're going to sand them. And that's what gives them that white texture. Again, only if you decide you wanted to do that. Otherwise, this layout certainly could be very beautiful just using the very basics without all this extra technique too. So this side of the page then has this piece here. The 4x4 photo well goes here. And then you've got those pieces that are cut out for you, right? That you're going to add down in here. A couple of gems. I added a couple of birds down here if you want. Some gems periodically placed through there, right? So that one's good. Then this other page works the same way, only now these two are going to get flip-flopped. All right, so using the rest of these papers, we're going to do that same technique. Then we've got this photo well, this one, and this one. Again, using these. I used the Everyday Arches stamp. So this is the Everyday Arches dies that I used to create these pages. Then here's the Everyday Arches stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set. So it's like what we're used to, my friends, which is nice. So that's what I did for Know You Are Loved and those birds. It's all part of this. So then finish that off with some bling and you're good. Page 1. Well, 1 and 2. All right, so on these pages, again, I used the sponges with the masks along here and through here. Then on this, and right in here, and on this tab, I did that metallic enamels. I didn't add any color or anything to it. I just used that middle shade. Okay, so that's the technique there. Then here, what I did, again, I'm not going to go spraying right over here, but I'm going to just add some water with my water bottle here. Right along the bottom of the paper, because that makes it easier to tear. You can have a little more control over how you're tearing it that way. Okay, so that's what I did there. And then all I did was I took this piece of paper and just glued it here so that it looks like that paper's behind there. But it's just a little sneaky peek. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so we've got 2 base pages, 2 6x6 pieces. So these obviously are these ones that go up here. Then this one, you're going to use this 4x6 frame. So it's a 4¼ by 6¼ frame, and just have a little bit of blue showing around it. And that will help you line up where this photo mat goes on this page, because that butts right up to this piece of paper. Then you've got 3 arches here, 2 arches down here, another 4x6 well there. So that page is pretty easy to do. I did use a blue pen and did dashes around the edges for just a little extra fun. Couple of gems right here, and that's all for the gems on this page. Oh, not true. 2 down here, 2 big ones down here, 2 little ones up here. And again, using that same stamp set, You Are Simply Fantastic goes up there if you want. And then I did a hot air balloon. That's that one. For this side, you are going to you've got 8 squares. So you're going to take your 8 squares, figure out how you want them to go on there, and just kind of arrange them. I'm doing mine just the way it is on here so you can see how it all falls together. All right, so we've got those, and then 1, 2, actually kind of want the darker one there. So you decide which way you want them to go. All right, so that's how those are going to get taped on together. Then you've got this piece that goes down the middle, and you decide, maybe it's a 4x6 and you figure out how your photos are all going to fall in there. But then add your little doodads. I put 2 gems here, little, big, big. That's it for that one. So all your technique-y stuff is done on these two pieces of kind of cream colored paper. So it's a bigger one and a little one. The little one gets a little more, and the big one only gets a little bit over here. So a fun technique that I did with this particular layout, it's called scissor distressing. So I used a pair of scissors, and instead of opening them up, I'm leaving it closed, and I'm just using the outside edge of the scissors to pull some of that up, so that reveals that white core of the white core cardstock and gives you that extra, it's a fun little extra layer. Let me bring this up close so you can see how that looks. Isn't that fun? A little more masculine looking, a little ragged, rugged. Okay, so your kit, again, this is one of those ones that's pretty stinking simple. You got two purples as your bases. Then these two different pieces that line up, one that covers most of it, keeping it flush to the right edge so that that tan piece then comes all the way across and goes flush, right? Flush right in the middle, so you don't see any purple in the middle there. Then these two pieces, so you've got four, well, I don't know, you got a whole bunch of these, but some of them are cut. So you've got one, two, three that are full 6x6ers. Then you've got two that are cut. You want the orange one to be wider than it is tall. And this one, you want it to be taller than it is wide. So this one is 6x5 3/4, and this is 5.5 by 5 3/4. So that's how those pieces, that bottom layer is all going to line up. Then on this side, you're going to use those full 6x6s, and we've got 1, 2, 3. So that's how they're going to line up on that base page. And I went about 1/4 of an inch in here, 1/2 of an inch in here, and about an inch down here on that brown piece. Okay. Then our photo mats are going to be this one, that one, that one, that one. And again, that's where I did that scissor distressing edging, and I did that on this one and this one as well. So what I recommend you do for these two here is get your stamping done, edge 3/4, so two long sides and one short side, have it hang off, go ahead and tape it on, cut it down, and then edge distress that last side for both of these ones, because these pieces are a little bit long, but that way you could, if you wanted to, you could interchange where they go. That's why I did it that way. All right, so we got a little bit of stamping up here, down there, and again, all these little stars came from this Everyday Arches. You're welcome to come over and use my stamp set, but you probably have some stamps in your catalog that you might be able to go and reach and make that work for you. All right, so you also have these little glittery pieces in your kit. Each of these photo wells has a different piece of glitter for it. So that's what you're going to add next. And then we'll go to our arches. So our different arches, we've got this one with this pink tucked behind it and the blue tucked behind that. And I really felt like it was easier for me to tape the bottom of this one, kind of the left and the bottom, tuck that pink one in, but not put any tape on the top part of the pink so that I could tuck the blue in, because otherwise I couldn't get the spacing to work right in my brain. Same thing here. I started with this one because I knew where I wanted it to go, this white one. And this white one has just one of these, boom, right in the middle of it for both of these. If you're going to stamp, stamp first and then add it. You're welcome. I did it wrong the first time and had to redo. All right, so that one, this one, and then again, tuck that one behind. And then gems wherever you want to put the gems. up here, I've got these three little dots. Those are not gems. That's using some of this guy, just as little dots right in there. And then I did the same thing down in here. Three little dots that are done with the effects. All right, so that's that page. Right, so with these two pages here, which go like this, you're going to start them off the same way. You just want the pinks to be on the outside so that the blues are together with the clouds in between. All right, so this is the basic start of it. 1, 2, 3, only flip flop these one and the other. Then this can go on, but I want to show you a little bit here what I did. See how it's lighter in this area here and in this area here. I used a sanding block and sanded that off to expose the white core. Same thing over here. So that helped kind of create that fun cloud effect. And then around the edges of that, I went back through again with that sponge and did more of the enamel. So it's almost like this little pathway of rays coming through the clouds. Up here, we've got just a little bit of cloud coverage with the plane coming through it, some cloud coverage right up in here. And again, the clouds are with the silvery looking enamel basics. And all right, so then to finish this one off, we've got this piece here with then the small guy down here. And I did overlap them. If you don't like them overlapped, you can just move this up a little bit. Just know that you're going to lose some of the space. Or bring this, you could even bring this one down a little bit. Then we've got again, our fun cluster up here. Stamp as desired. That enamel effects, if you want to do that, I've got that in 3 different spots. More cloud coverage over here with the sponges here too. And then our photo wells are 1, 2, 3. Again, I've got this one overlapped here. Create your little cluster here. You've got a teeny tiny little sliver of glitter that's going to go right there. And on this one, I added some silver bling. Let me bring this up close so you can see some extra. You know, I like to do extra. I'm a little extra. Mwah, love you, sorry. Dot dash with a blue gel pen or a blue fine tip. Dot dash all the way around the edges. Then with the white gel pen, I did double squiggle journal lines on the blue layer. I used the silver right down in here on this guy and on this guy. And I did that after it was already done. Again, use that toothpick. Where is it? There you go. Use that toothpick to help kind of guide it down into those spaces. Because you want it to go a little bit underneath there so that it looks like it carries all the way through, but it doesn't need to go all the way through the whole thing. All right, I think that's it. If you have any questions, reach out, let me know. I'd love to hear from you anyway. Please post a comment. And thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Happy crafting, friends.